This PowerPoint presentation is a continuation of the topic Subject and Verb Agreement. Although they may appear plural, company names and titles of publications are singular and require singular verbs. In the sentence, Fagan, Dunn & Rowe Inc. is expanding, the company Fagan, Dunn & Rowe Inc. is actually singular, and so the singular verb is required, and not the plural verb are. In the second example, Starting from Scratch was a bestseller in the 1990s. The publication Starting from Scratch is singular and requires a singular verb, in this case the word was instead of the plural verb were. When it comes to indefinite pronouns, there are some that are always singular, there are some that are always plural, and there are some that can be singular or plural depending on the words to which they refer. For the singular indefinite pronouns, you should refer to this list, which is also on page 182 of your text. So these are words like anyone, everyone, nobody, nothing, and so forth. Conversely, you should commit to memory this short list of indefinite pronouns that are always plural: both, few, many, and several. And here are the trickster indefinite pronouns. These can be singular or plural depending on the words to which they refer: all, some, more, any, most, or none. Let's take a look at some examples of indefinite pronoun use. In the first example, all of the files are here. All is one of those indefinite pronouns that can be either singular or plural. Because the word that is being used with all is files is plural, then we also need to have a plural verb, in this case the word are instead of is. I should point out in all of these examples there is a prepositional phrase that begins with the preposition of. It's important that you not pick out the subject of the preposition, but instead you pick out the subject of the actual verb. With that in mind, let's have a look at the second sentence. Few of the companies have expressed an interest. The subject in this case is the word few, and this is one of those indefinite pronouns that always requires a plural verb. So the verb in this case is have and not the singular has. In the next sentence, some of the money is still left in the budget. Some is one of those indefinite pronouns that can be either plural or singular. So in this case, the preposition does matter because it is what's going to make the determination of whether that verb is singular or plural. In this case, the subject of the preposition is money, which is singular, and so we choose the singular verb is. The next three examples are the same as well. The indefinite pronoun in these examples can be either singular or plural and depend on the words to which they refer. So in this case we have to look at the subject of the preposition to determine whether the verb should be singular or plural. In the sentence, most of the reports are due next week, the subject of the preposition is reports, and reports is plural, so the verb are is also plural. In the sentence, all of the work was checked carefully, the subject of the preposition is the word work, which is singular, and so we select a singular verb as well, so we choose the verb was. And finally, in the sentence, some of the students have left messages for you, we have to look at the subject of the preposition, which is students. This is plural, so we also need to have a plural verb. We choose the verb have instead of the singular has. Now here's a little trick to the English language that takes a little bit of time to figure out. When the indefinite pronouns each, every, and many are used to describe two or more subjects that are joined by and, the subjects are considered singular. This probably makes sense to you for the indefinite pronouns of each and every, because we've already mentioned that these indefinite pronouns are always singular. The indefinite pronoun many a may be different for you, because we said many by itself is always a plural indefinite pronoun. However, when you have the a at the end of many, making the indefinite pronoun many a, then we have a singular pronoun. So let's look how these indefinite pronouns joined together by the word and still use a singular verb. In the sentence, every period, comma, and semicolon is important. Is a singular verb, and you'll notice that the verb are, which is the plural verb, is not used. So every period, comma, and semicolon are important would be incorrect. Same for the second case. Many a trainer and coach demands the most of each athlete. The demands is a singular verb, and the demand would be a plural verb. Let's take a look now at collective nouns. When a collective noun such as faculty, committee, team, family, and council operate as a single unit, its verb should be singular. So have a look at the following sentences and note the singular verb used with the collective noun. The committee is unanimous on this. Committee is a collective noun, and is a singular verb. Same thing for the faculty returns next week. Faculty is a collective noun, and returns as a singular verb. And finally, the governing council was surprised by the idea. Council is a collective noun, and was is a single verb. It's time for the on the other hand statement. On the other hand, when the elements of a collective noun operate separately, the verb is plural. So when the collective noun operates as a single unit, we use a singular verb, but when the collective noun operates separately, the verb is plural. So in the first sentence, the faculty are divided on the issue of late submissions. Faculty is a collective noun that is operating separately, and so we need the plural verb are. The same goes for the second sentence. The jury are still debating some of the evidence. Jury is a collective noun, but each jury member is individually debating some of the evidence, so they are operating separately. Therefore, we need a plural verb. The jury are still debating some of the evidence, and not the jury is still debating some of the evidence. Let's finish up this PowerPoint presentation with a check your skill. Select the correct helping verb in this sentence. Either the distributor or the drivers has or have to be contacted. This was a concept that was actually introduced in the previous PowerPoint presentation. When you have the word or that separates two subjects in the sentence, then we have to choose the subject that is closer to the verb to determine the verb as being singular or plural. In this case, the closest subject is the word drivers, and therefore we need to have the plural subject or the plural verb of have. In the second example, most of the work on the project is or are completed. What do you think? Most is an indefinite pronoun that can be either singular or plural, depending on what the prepositional subject is. The prepositional subject project is singular, and the verb is also singular. Finally, in the sentence, every parcel, suitcase, and bag has or have to be inspected, we need to consider that the indefinite pronoun every, used to describe two or more subjects joined by the word and, is considered to be singular. Accordingly, we choose the singular verb has. I hope this presentation has been helpful to you, and good luck with the exercises.